Hey guys, Frank here, your virtual general aviation aviator, and today I am in a Russian-made freeware plane, the YAK model 18T. And I think the T actually may stand for um, twin seater. I know this comes in a tandem seater, and this one um, allows two people to sit side by side, but we'll get to that a little later. Anyway, so I am in Idaho Falls, Idaho. I bet you figured that out already. Idaho Falls, dead giveaway. As for the state, I'm in Idaho Falls, Idaho, and my mission today is to deliver this guy to American Falls, which is about 55 nautical miles to the southwest. And so I'm going to make that flight. But before we do, uh, I'm making this video because I want to talk a little bit about this aircraft. Now, freeware, there are some freeware out there that's absolutely, um, well, I'm not going to call them crap, but the the they the authors or the developers may not have had the skill to put a lot of resources in it. This one is certainly an exception. This one is literally pay grade well. I mean, just look at it with the hard cell props on it. Look at the detail on this aircraft. It's just gorgeous. Certainly is something that I'm sure that they could have chosen to charge money for. In fact, let's take a closer look at it here. Let's see, let me grab this screen, pull it over, and then pop it in. Okay, so this is what I can share with you about the YAK 18T, the Yokolev YAK 18T. So it's a 45 seat fully aerobatic utility aircraft. Um, so it is an aerobatic craft, which was introduced as a trainer in the Soviet military, so I understand. Anyway, um, it was designed in the late 60s. Well, this one says as a civilian aircraft, and this variant has the nose wheel and is a 9-cylinder. Okay, now there is a 5-cylinder variant that was used in WW2 that was dubbed Washing Machine Charlie because I understand that to a lot of the soldiers, it sounded like those old gas washing machine, gasoline powered washing machines, which is way before my time. I never knew there was even a such thing as a gasoline powered washing machine. But anyway, um, let's see, compare it with other light aircraft such as the C-172 and the Piper uh, 28, which would be the Arrow and the Warrior and those type Pipers. The YAK-T is only a little wider and longer, but is much heavier and equipped with a considerably more powerful engine. Um, it's goes on to say that it's probably better compared to the Piper Saratoga. And one thing that I found that was interesting is that the G forces that the um, aircraft will handle. In fact, it's up here at the top. The See, it's powered by a 360 to 400 horsepower, and I'm not going to pronounce that word, radial engine, and it's designed for stresses of up to plus 6.4 or minus 3.24 Gs. So, you know, that's 6 times your body weight pressing down on you. Um, and so if you weigh 100 pounds, that's 1,200 pounds. Let's see, 6 times. If you weigh 100 pounds, then that's 600 at 6 times your body weight. That'd be 600 pounds of pressure, and this is 6.48. So yeah. Anyway, it is available for free. All you have to do is download it, unzip it, and install it. And if you need help with that, then somewhere on my channel there is a video. Actually, those videos are on the virtual GAA channel, I do believe. Anyway, I'll leave a link in it, and I'll also leave a link to this set file here. So let me go ahead and copy it so I have it in my clipboard. All right. So enough of that. Let's get back into the aircraft and see what we got here. All right. So this guy is, as you can see, it's um, it's kind of boxy, if you ask me. Look at the shape of the wings, and look how it just kind of sit straight. Um, it's a little boxy. See how straight these lines around the front cowling is. But we'll make this 55 nautical mile flight and see how it goes. All right. So let's jump in the cockpit, and again, just a quick tour around the cockpit. It is, like I said, Payware quality. I mean, look at the detail on the back seat. I mean, you can see the textures. You can see how the sun has affected the leather. It's incredible detail for freeware. You can see each and every rivet in the wing. That's these guys have aged it. You can see how over the years the pedals and the floor has become. Look how the paint has come off gauges that get the most use, and of course it's not unreasonable for some of them to have been replaced, like the primer probably has a new bob, I, a new lever on it. All right, so let's see what it takes to get it started. Now, in all fairness, I'm not familiar with this plane. I've flown it I think I've flown it twice, and I didn't RTFM. Some of you guys know what that means, RTFM. I didn't read the manual, read the blanking manual, you know what the F stand for. Um, so I am going to wing it and crank it like I think it ought to be cranked. All right, so this guy right here, incidentally, is my primer. Not my primer, my mixture. Okay, so first thing I want to do is set my brake, make sure my brake is set, and I think that's unset. So let's make sure that's set. Parking brake is set, and fuel valves are on. I couldn't find fuel valves before, so I think they're in a constant on state. Um, if I'm wrong, then you guys correct me if you know better. Okay. Main pneumatic valve emergency gear. I know this is my gear valve. So it is a complex aircraft. It does have retractable gear and um, the constant speed prop. Of course, we looked at the Hartzell emblems on it, and we noticed that it was 3 blades. All right, so let's get it started. That's what we're working on. All right, so the first thing we want to do is go ahead and turn our beacon light on. So there's our beacon light, so people know that we're getting ready to start it. And let's go ahead and turn our battery on and our ignition on. Okay, so that should be all we need to start it. Let's go ahead and prime it. Now, I don't know if the primer is modeled. I don't think it is, so I'm priming it more for immersion than to actually crank it. All right, parking brake set. Mixture is 4N, and um, prop pitch is set to minimum, or fast prop, kind of like a 10-speed bicycle in first gear. And let's crack the throttle, and let's make our mags hot. All right, our mags are hot. Let's clear. And nobody's out there. Clear prop. Let's see if this window's modeled. No, it's not. Okay, so all right, we got a good start. All right, and I should have did this before I started it, but I want to look at my oil pressure, or temp, or pressure. This guy right here, and it's already up, and so I got positive oil pressure, so I think I'm gonna be okay. All right, and let's go ahead and turn our generator on, and we should see this guy come alive, I do believe. And it did. And looks like I've got about 8.9 volts. Looks like this may be on a 12-volt system. I'm not sure. But I do know it's producing energy, so it's going to be okay to fly. All right, and let's turn our landing gear toggle on. I don't know actually what that does. I don't know if that's a landing gear light, but we are going to toggle it on. And instrument, I am going to turn on the instrument lights. Well, turn on the instruments because I saw stuff come alive once I toggled that up. But also, if it provides some light, there's a starter button. So I use the alpha yoke to start it just by turning it until it started. But I guess technically I should have pressed this button to start it. Like I said, you're watching me as I learn how to operate this aircraft. Of course, the reason I'm learning to operate it is because I got a mission. I had to deliver it to American Falls. All right, so apparently my equipment is already on. All right, so PO 250 con, have no idea what that means. But let's flip it off and on, see if something changes. Um, I thought I saw the altitude change when I flipped it on, but maybe it didn't. Or maybe it did. Uh, I know at this field the elevation is 47, 44, and so I want that set to about 47, 44, because I don't know how to read the altimeter in um, QNH. Um, so I'm going to set it to field elevation. All right, transponder. And let's just flip that on. I don't know what that actually does. And intercom, don't need that. VFH radio. Yeah, let's go ahead and turn that on. And navigation lights, that would be um, my the um, the red and green light. Ah man, why am I drawing a blank on the name of those um, nav lights? Duh, navigation nav. I'm so used to hearing calling them nav lights. I'm not connecting the dots. Uh, all right, and landing light for when we taxi because it lacks a taxi light. Okay, and PT 200 is on this side too. Maybe when I consult the manual, I'll learn more about that. In fact, I'm just going to turn that off on the pilot side, and I'm not sure what this is. I think this may be a stall speed alarm. So let's just go ahead and turn that on. And let's turn on the interior lights. We don't really need them. Um, yeah, I don't think I need them. Emergency lights, cockpit lights. I do want those on. Um, Not because I need them, but I've realized that in flight simming, oftentimes the cockpit lights just are hard to read. All right, strobes when we take the runway, pitot heat is not required, and stall warning. Let's go ahead and turn that on. And I think we are pretty much ready. So we are in Wichita Falls, and let's see. Amidar says winds are 01. Let's see. Winds are 200 at 12 knots. 10 statutory. I say I can't make that larger. Visibility is 10 statutory miles. Few clouds at 6,000, broken at 8,000, and the um, a terminal is 3013, and the dew points. Well, I got 6 and MO2. I'm not sure what MO2 means. Let's see what that says. It means uh, temperature 6 and um, density altitude is 4627. So the plane thinks it's a little bit lower than what it really is. What is the temperature? The temperature is 43 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's definitely jacket weather in Idaho Falls. Okay, so we got 2 runways. and we got 3 and 21, and we've got 17 and 35. 3 and 21 is 9,000 feet, 150 foot wide, and 1735 is just under 4,000 feet and 75 feet wide. And so I think 17 works for us. And then the winds were 200 at 12. Looks like we've got rain showing up, trying to show up on the iPad. Or maybe that was an echo. Um, or maybe not. Um, but looks like there's some weather moving in. Um, so let's. I've got real weather turned on the on the I got FS Global real weather injecting real weather into the sim. So once it updates, it may it may make the weather a little iffy. So the best thing to do is get out now. So let's get our tower frequency and let's see. I want tower frequencies. So where do I find that? Don't need procedures info. Okay. I guess we should go ahead and get the ATIS, since we do have an ATIS, which is 135.25. So that's gonna go down to 25, and then 135. Fastest way is down, and now that we got that in, that should have started automatically. Let's make sure we got our numbers punched in correctly. 135.25 and 135.32. That might explain it, right? 32. Let's see. Let's go up.
Idaho Falls
There we go.
RGNL information Lima.
Lima.
1900 Zulu weather. Wind 190 at 12. Visibility more than 10. Sky conditions 6,000 few, 8,000 broken, 30,500 broken, temperature 6, dew point -2. Altimeter 3012.
Okay.
Arriving runways 1721, departing runways 1721. Advise on initial contact you have Lima.
All right. So now we can go ahead and let me get rid of that frequency. Now we can go ahead and put in our ground frequency 121.7. So let's dial this up to 7. Let's get rid of this guy. And 121. And we'll go. Actually, we should treat it as a CTAF frequency, but we'll call ground. And our N number on this bird, we just use the default N number on this YAK. You know, yakety yak, don't talk back. Some of you guys may know that song. So we 36 Yankee Kilo. And shoot, that was, I think we had Lima. All right. Idaho Falls ground. YAK 36 Yankee Kilo is at General Aviation, ready to taxi with information Lima, and we'll be departing to the southwest. But that was slow. And taxi to runway 17 via Bravo, uh, 36 Yankee Kilo. Okay, so got my taxi instructions. Let me go ahead and flip in the tower frequency. Well, technically, I don't want to do that. I want to monitor ground as long as I am in the ground, in their purview. Let's see. Okay, I think I'm gonna want to make this turn to the left here. All right, so let's turn our brakes off. Okay, and we'll find that yellow brick road. There's the tower. And if you see me glancing, I'm actually glancing at my iPad. Um, I don't want to put it up and obscure your view, but I'm headed towards that yellow brick road. All right, clear left and right. All right, so let's get over there. And now, one way to tell whether when I'm parallel with the runway, one way to tell whether I'm going in the right direction is right now. I should be able to look at my compass, and I know I want to take off to the south, 17, and I'm headed to the north. So yeah, and give me a chance to check my compass. And this is not my compass, is it? This is the OBS. Looks like an OBS. Let's see, uh, where is my compass? It's entirely possible that I use the whiskey compass as my compass. I've seen that on some of these Russian planes. Um, so, okay, so I got a clock here. Let me just go through stuff. Let's see. Well, I'm at my thing. All right, let's set my brake here. Brake set. All right, and let's look at these guys. Manifold pressure is here. All right, let's see. All right, manifold pressure is here at the top. RPMs is this guy, oil pressure, and this is my my VSI, my vertical speed indicator here. Um, my altimeter here, engine gauges, and what is this guy here at the bottom? Okay, that's the temperature gauge, I do believe. Something, I'm not sure what that is. Okay, cabin temperature. Oh man, I probably should turn some cabin. Oh no, that says carb heat temperature. And my slip in my turn indicator, my slip indicator, um, and my voltage, and that clock, along with some other stuff. Not sure, but yeah, radio. Let's make sure we're squawking VFR, and let's go ahead and turn altitude reporting on. And I'm not sure what these are. One of them may be suction. But anyway, let's back out here and do a quick mag test. So let's get our RPMs up to 5,000. I guess that's manifold pressure. I'm looking at RPMs here, and it's in percentages, okay, because that's 100%. So we got it at 70%, and let's check our mags. Okay, I'll see the drop, and I see the drop in both RPMs and manifold pressure. Let's do our prop test. Okay, RPMs come down as expected, but my manifold pressure should come down a lot further, I thought. And don't see anything that would indicate suction. I thought this guy here may have indicated suction, but it doesn't appear to. All right, so let's call it a day for a run up. All right, and let's back out here. All right, so now let's get rid of these brakes. Well, before we do that, let's go ahead and change our frequency to tower, and that's 118.5. All right, so we're on the tower frequency now. All right, let's get rid of our brakes. Let's get up to this whole short line. I don't think we had anybody behind us. I am running traffic global, so it's possible that they had something taxi, but nope, they didn't. Now this is an aerobatic aircraft. I'm not going to do any aerobatics, I don't think. Idaho Falls Tower, YAK 36 Yankee Kilo is holding short, runway 17, ready to depart southwest. Clear for takeoff, runway 17, YAK 36 Yankee Kilo. Okay. And let's get that strobe light on. And let's get that landing light on. Okay, light up like a Christmas tree here. And we don't need flaps on this guy. The flaps on the bottom, and they have a real dramatic effect on the aircraft. Okay, so let's go full power and come off our brakes, right rudder, and with those winds, we can really tell there was something going on. I couldn't actually tell where my flaps were set to. Let's try to make sure we get this runway heading. Okay, I got a caution light. Low speed. All right, so let's get these flaps out, see if we can pick up some speed. Oh man, I did have flaps in. I am going to put them back in just so that you can see what I mean about the flaps. Yeah, so have you ever seen flaps like that? Okay, and they really, I got my yoke turned off, but those flaps really have a dramatic effect. All right, so I guess I should turn to a heading of about 200, about 200, and I'm just guessing at this point. So we're using the whiskey compass. And you can see me if you look over here. Let me turn. Well, I want to leave the yoke on so you can see just how much deflection I'm using at the moment. Actually, I'm turning the wrong way to turn to the head that I want. I need to be turning to the right. Wonder what riffles that. Some water down now. All right, so we looks like we got a road that we can parallel for a little while to keep us headed in the right direction. And I'm flying straight and level at the moment, so let's see if we can gain a little altitude. And I want to pull back on my prop setting. Okay, my manifold pressure was at 100%, so we're trying 90% for the rest of the climb. And in full throttle, I'm sorry, the manifold pressure. All right, let's set everything full. Okay, manifold pressure is topping out at about 7, and the prop is at 100%. All right, so I am gonna pull back my prop first. Actually, I guess I should pull back my RPMs first. And now I can pull back my prop. To 90%. I actually am gonna adjust my mixture. My mixture right now is for rich. And so this guy here is my mixture button. And my altitude is above 5,000. I'm already at 5,600. All right. So I heard the pitch change, and I'm gonna push it back in just a little. All right. So now I feel comfortable with where we are, but as you can see, I really am not climbing whatsoever. So I'm going to set the prop back to 7, and I'm sorry, the manifold pressure back to 7, and the prop back to 90%, and trim for a little climb. And let that settle out. And let me turn the prop back on, because as you can see, I still got a little back pressure in. So I'm spinning the prop now. And spinning the prop now. I mean, spinning the trim now. All right. So this is a radio engine, right? And radio engines are generally made to sound like they are firing steadily, as opposed to piston engines that we're more accustomed to, that we constantly are adjusting power settings. Again, this is also a prop, I can't get it out, a aerobatic plane, so she can stand a lot more stresses than what I'm giving it. Okay, so I'm at 67, 65 now. I'm headed westward. I guess I could actually fly 6,700 feet, and we'll make that our cruise altitude. So to get my 67 and to try to hold that, got significant back pressure in. I am going to pull my prop back, and the reason I'm pulling it back is because I've been having to keep a significant amount of right rudder in to keep my aircraft coordinated. And go ahead and push this. Push this. Let's see. And as you can see, I lost too much altitude. So try to regain my altitude. Don't have any autopilot in this guy. All right, landing lights can come off. And I'm not sure how that oh God. That's not good. That's not good at all. I am doing some aerobatics. Didn't mean to. Okay. So I am flying which direction? All of a sudden, where's my whiskey campus? I'm flying to the east. I want to turn south. And that's taking me north, right? So since she's an aerobatic aircraft, then she does respond almost instantly to my inputs. Okay, so I'm at 5,900 feet. I get back up to 6,500. Airspeed is where? Let's see. So this is my airspeed. I'm in the green. I got this dark green arc, and I suspect that's probably my cruise arc. And I suspect that's the arc that I generally want to be in. Outside view. You know what, guys? Shame on me. Did you guys just see what I saw? This is a complex aircraft, and my gear is still down. 3 in the green here, and I'm so busy focusing on this area that I just completely neglected to see those 3 in the green. So let's get this gear up, and that's going to change the flight characteristics of this aircraft. So so 3 red, I guess that's gear up. Yep. All right. And I feel like I could use some trim. All right, so now I'm at 7,500 above where I want to be. So you see me working that trim, lower that nose, pull it back on my power just a bit. Well, I'm gonna take the speed, so I'm gonna leave my power at 90. My RPM's at 90, and I'm just, let's see, I do want to get this manifold pressure. We'll work with this. I was going to say I do want to get the manifold pressure below the 7. And let's see, where's my heading? I keep reading that whiskey compass backwards. All right, so I'm gonna fly a whole 210 for a little while. Now, and see, I'm way over my altitude. So I'm not doing a good job scanning my instruments, am I? One mistake that I may be making, I'm trying to fly with my trim as opposed to flying with the stick or the yoke. All right, 500 to go. And look like clouds are building in over there. Looks like we should be approaching Pocatello Regional Airport. I probably butchered the name. And as far as navigation go, I am cheating. I'm using the iPad, so I don't even see me on the iPad. Let me close this. Where am I? Okay, there I am, way up there. So let me turn to 240 and hold that heading. So you can see the iPad has got me tracking back towards the magenta line, and my destination is American Falls, so we're getting there. Okay, so with the clouds building in, I'm gonna go ahead and turn on my navigation lights for what it's worth, and now I failed to trim off at 65, so I'm 400 above, below my desired altitude. So I'm in a climb. Airspeed's holding at 20. All right, so now I can level off here. And I guess what I really should concentrate on doing is leveling with the yoke and then trimming off the pressure rather than trimming the pressure as to the altitude that I want. When I say the pressure, I mean the back pressure on the yoke. And I'm trying not to look so much at the instruments, but that gives me, that's the sight picture I want for neither decline and I need to find out where I'm at on my magenta line. I may have crossed it. Nope, haven't gotten to it yet. So I'm still headed in the right direction. Let's see if we can get it trimmed out where we want it right now. And in order for me to trim it out, I have no choice but to look at my VSI, my vertical speed indicator. Don't want to follow it too much, but I really can't tell which way I'm pushing, which way the aircraft is trending without looking at it. Right now I had a 100 degree, a 100 feet per minute climb, and I couldn't really tell just by looking over the column that I had pitched up. Okay, so I got a green light, so I think the aircraft is telling me it likes that I'm trimmed to neutral. Okay. So you can see where I'm at on the iPad, and so I need to turn back a little. I'm turning the wrong way. I do that each time. All right. Pull that nose up. As I lose that lift. And I think about 200 ought to be good. All right. So let's see if we can't pick a point to fly to. Trim off just a little bit of this nose climb attitude. All right, And as I gain speed, the nose should come up by itself as since I'm pitched down. So I'm not going to adjust that. And so I see a little white island looking thing up here. So that's what we're going to fly to for right now. So that's our target. And what that does is it gives me the ability to fly without looking out, without really having to focus a lot on my gauges. I did have to trim off a little bit because I was in a descent, which has become a 50 feet per minute ascent. So yeah, for me, guys, this hand flying, it's really fun. I'm actually, I'm actually enjoying this. Yakety yak, don't talk back. See, the weather has really building in, and of course, I can't see where I'm flying to, so let me get back in the cockpit, make sure that I hold my course. I think I got it trimmed pretty nicely because even though I ascend and descend, it's a little oscillation, but I thought it was averaging out. So you'll see this knob move a little bit as I play with the trim. I didn't touch it that time, but as long as it's oscillating within 50 feet, then it's averaging to zero. I may have some winds aloft, and pop back in the iPad, let you see my track. So as you can see, I am pretty next to my magenta line, tracking a little away from it, so I can track back to the west just a little bit. So I'm looking at my whiskey compass and turning in the direction, turning towards 240, maybe fly 1210 for a little while. 'Cause I had been more on a trajectory of 200. Trim look good. Horizontal hold look good. Every time I turn at a certain angle, of course, I lose a little lift on that wing that's dipping, which result in some altitude loss. So I'm right on my line on the iPad. So now I need to turn back towards the south, and I'm starting, I think, to get the hang of flying, been using the whiskey compass for navigation. Okay, so yep, and I'm doing about 220, 21. Let's see, 21, 22, 23, 24, yeah, 220 on the airspeed indicator, and I guess that's kilometers. I don't think I don't think that's I don't think that's knots. Well, it says KIH, so that's in the it is knots. So I'm gonna fly to this area here. Let me get rid of this map here. You saw me turning away from my magenta line, so I'm gonna fly to this area here. See if that correct my course. And trim it down just a little bit. Otherwise, over time, I would have gained hundreds of feet. So, if any of you guys have flown this guy and have read the manual, then leave me some comments. Let me know what this this PO 250 conversion, is that a conversion? Let's see, I don't know what that means. One thing about hand flying, it's like algebra. If you never do it, you don't become good at it. If the more you do it, then the more you learn to scan your instruments. You know, if I was on autopilot, then I would not be doing the scans that I'm doing at all. Altitude, VSI, altitude, airspeed. I guess really and truthfully, I should use my artificial horizon a little bit more. And that's a really good system to use when you're in weather. But the reason I don't use the artificial horizon as much as I do, because right now it looks like I'm in a slight descent, which I am. So let me see if I can't get it straight and level just using the artificial horizon, this guy. And let me zoom in for your benefit. And trim. Okay, so that looked like it ought to be straight and level. yet I'm in a slight climb, and without the VSI, I would never have known that I was in the climb. But the VSI oscillates so much that you can spend the whole time following that VSI, and the artificial horizon kind of averages it out so that you don't do this concept called chasing the VSI. Okay. And I should be at my airport, and there it is down there. And as you can see, I was so engrossed in flying the aircraft, almost overflew my airport. All right, so let's see if we can't get an ATIS for that guy. So ATIS is well, 122.8 is the CTAF, and don't know if there's an ATIS frequency info. ATIS, yeah, I don't think there's going to be an ATIS for this. So I have to use ATIS of a nearby airport. The closest one is 55 nautical miles. So I think what I'm going to do is drop down. The airport is at 46, so if I drop down 1,000 feet to 56, and then 51, then I'd be 500 feet above the runway. And let's see if we can't fly over and take a look at the windsock. '51 is what I'm looking for. Since I didn't get an ATIS or an ASOS, then I don't have an accurate altimeter, so I could theoretically be pretty far off. All right, so where's our airport? I see some buildings there. 51 is what I'm looking for. Where's 51? I'm almost there. Okay, yeah, okay. So 50, I'm at 51 now. Here's my runway, and I'm doing mid-field. Not making any radio calls. Shame on me. All right, looking for a windsock. Looking for a windsock. Get in the pilot seat. There's no quick way to get over there in the pilot seat. No key bindings.
500.
500. So I think what I'm gonna do is make an assumption here. Winds at the nearest airport, the one that's 58 nautical miles away from me now, which was 55 a second ago, the winds are 240 at 12 knots. So I'm thinking that they're going to be from the west, from the southwest. So, and my runway orientations at this airport is runways is 3 and 2-1, so we definitely want 2-1. All right. So right now we're flying west, so we want to do a 360 here and fly back across the runway and then get in the pattern. 360. All right, there's airport coming back into view. And 122.8. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. American Falls traffic, YAK 36 Yankee Kilo is crossing midfield for runway 21 from the east. Correction. From the north. From the south. American Falls. That was a terrible call. All right, so right now I want to fly towards 2-1. And that's gonna give me this direction. And I'm a little bit low. Remember, so the airport is actually, let me get rid of this guy here, so, because I'm not actually flying by that. So the airport is 2-1 would be at the top. So I need to fly. That's putting me on a right pattern. And this doesn't have a right pattern, so I need to go back over midfield and get back in the pattern for a left pattern. All right, so I'm missing my dog. My dog passed today, this morning, and so I'm really sad that my companion of 14 years is no longer with me. Okay, so I'm holding up incredibly well considering. All right, So, um, American Falls YAK 36 Yankee Kilo is crossing midfield, runway 21, and we will turn left downwind for runway 21, American Falls. Okay, and make sure that I am crossing the runway. All right, so let's make this turn to the left. We are low because at this point, if the field is 44, we should be at 54, and so we're kind of 400 feet below where we ought to be. And we're gonna do a no flaps landing. Okay. So, glumps, gas, and I don't recall seeing any fuel pumps or anything. Lights, landing lights can come on. Undercarriage can come down. Let's throw in our carb heat. Carb heat is in, and let's power it back. And let's see, we gotta look at our whiskey counters to kind of figure out where things are. Cool, we can look out the window. All right, so get an idea of where we want to be, and we are here, and so I got an idea of where I want to make my turn. American Falls YAK is turning base to final. American Falls runway 21. I know that's terrible, but I had skipped a lot. Okay, so let's get this guy trimmed. And you can see my final coming up. Yeah, you can see where I'm going. All right, gear is 3 in the green, and I'm a mile out. And I'm descending at roughly 100 feet per minute. I can see the Versi, but I can't really tell what it's telling me. Carb heat is in. L speed is where at? Where's my L speed? Oh man, I am way slow. I'm almost at stall. So add a little bit of power back. And bring her in. All right, transition to the end of the runway. And we are down. Didn't butter it, but all things considered, probably not too bad. And we did have a headwind straight up the runway, so we made a good choice. And we're going to go off to the left here. And park over here somewhere. This was a fun flight, guys. You know, I think in reality, I wouldn't have relied solely on the iPad for navigation. I would have definitely probably would have used the iPad for help navigating, but but I probably would have made more of a plan. Okay, let's see how we part. Ah, I'll take it. It's not the best, but it's close enough. All right, so let's shut this guy down and we'll do carb heat back on if it wants to cooperate with me. You know, I didn't stop and clean up, which is what I should have did. All right, so set this brake. Come on, brake. There we go. All right, now I can get my feet off the foot brakes. All right, so let's turn this guy off. The cockpit lights can go off, strobes can go off, and stall warning can go off. Landing lights can go off, and nav lights can go off. Beacon lights I want to leave on. This VHF radio I'm turning off. Um, Transponder can go off. I didn't see anything happen, but I'm actually going to flip this guy. Let's see, to off here. There we go. That was my ADF radio. And then I can flip this guy to off. All right, so that's off. And instruments can go off. Landing gear lights. I guess that's the lights for the landing gear. Nope, I don't know. Don't know what that does. Um, Let me just pop out right quick and see if we see any lights or anything about the landing gear. I don't. So yeah, just don't know what this button does. Um, Ignition can go off, generator can go off, battery is still on. Let's go mixture for lean that starts our engine, and battery can go off. Beacon light, I tend to always leave that on and just let that come on whenever I turn the main power on. At least that's the way my flight instructor kind of taught me how to do this. So, guys, thanks for flying along with me. And if you haven't checked out the YAK, it's worth checking out. It's a fun aircraft to fly. It's Payware quality. Um, I wouldn't quite say a study level, but it's it's worth giving the developer money for. So yeah. Anyway, um, I I do encourage you to check it out. Um, it's a beautiful aircraft. Of course, to me, I've never seen an aircraft that's not beautiful. And until next time.
Y'all come back now. Cheers.